Stop, I know exactly what you're thinking. Not another is dead in a coma video. And I feel you. Almost every good franchise and not so good franchises have one of these. And it's always, this character's in a coma, this character's dead, this character's in purgatory. Hell, I think the last video like this I did was on Celestia being dead. God, I love this headcanon stuff. Call me Ink Rose Jr. Though I'm pretty sure she's only like 15, so unless she had me at, well, when she was 1, Timescale just doesn't work out. And speaking of timescales, what's up with Equestria Girl's timescale? Seriously, what's up with that? The first movie takes place in senior year, and the second, and the third. And since the seasons don't seem to change, it would have to be at most within 6 months. And the largest gap of time would have to be between the first and second movie, seeing as how the reconstruction of the school would be taking place then and it's completed by the second movie. But all that really says is that the movies take place on a ridiculously small time scale. Not necessarily that our favorite bacon here protagonist is dead / in a coma / in prison / some sort of combination of all three. Actually, that's a pretty good place to start with this whole coma, death, imprisonment theory video. What do we know about Sunset? Really, what do we know about her? And, well, besides being best human, there's actually not a whole lot. We know she used to be the student of Celestia, like Twilight, and that she felt slighted because she wasn't chosen to ascend to what is essentially godhood. How great, another redhead with a god complex, like we don't have enough of those already? Other than that, we know very little. We know she enrolled in the CHS 3 years ago, but we know she had to have been banished much longer than that. To our knowledge, Celestia had no protege during the time she took on Twilight, and it seems unlikely that she would quickly take up another protege after having failed Sunset. As they say, there are no bad students, only bad teachers, and Celestia seems like the type to take that to heart. So we have X number of years before actually going to CHS, during which time she doesn't seem to age. And clearly, a freshman would have a much different body type compared to an adult. As well, we know Sunset has to be older than Twilight, as she was the original apprentice of Sunbud. But for her to be the same age as Twilight, there would have to be some sort of crazy time difference in the worlds. The human world would have to age significantly slower. But that's not reflective in the movies at all. If the world aged so slowly that Sunset basically was the same age as when she left, the few days that Twilight was in their world would have been months or even years in Equestria. Not to mention that even though their world is aging slower, it's still relative to their world that she was there for multiple years. Even if it was only a week, I doubt that they would let that go unsaid. So our timeline is completely destroyed. It simply doesn't add up. But for the last 2 movies, we see it through the eyes of Sunset herself. This huge lack of perception of time is a key symptom of extreme sensory deprivation. But this is often something that happens with people in solitary confinement without the connection of another person. But she's surrounded by people, right? Well, not exactly. She's surrounded by illusions and reflections of people. Think about it, the school has a population of only 40 people. No school would actually be able to stay open with such a small population size, but it would be the perfect size of a small hamlet. The characters in the show are almost completely one-dimensional, the barest form of their pony versions. Rainbow Dash only cares about winning, Rarity only cares about fashion, Fluttershy only cares about animals, etc, etc, etc. Even in the normal show, we see the characters have plenty of other traits and interests. But these things lack any of those characteristics that would add depth to their character. Not to mention her world is almost a small bubble. Despite having magical battles on the scale of deities, no one outside of 2 schools notices. So what do we have? We have a completely mental Sunset and fake illusions. But why? Because she's in solitary. Think about it. When's the last time you've seen a prison outside of Tartarus? Clearly there's violence in the world. We've met enough characters who fit that bill. And in this utopian society, surely they don't just terminate or banish all the unruly members. The main goal of prison is rehabilitation, not incarceration. What better way to teach people not to steal or harm another than to highlight how useless they are without others? We've seen the only character to emotionally progress is Sunset. She becomes more accepting and nicer to those in her world, even those who have attempted to harm her. She's redeeming herself. She no longer is the old evil person she once was, but now she's been reborn, saved, hence all that phoenix symbolism. The portal to Eqg is the only real world. It was almost like a reminder of what she's missing while she's strapped here. Even take a look back at the first movie, she's hit with the elements of harmony. But what really happens when you're hit with the power of the elements? We get a glimpse of it in friendship games. Sunset and Twilight are in the void together. They talk out their problem rather than continuing a fight. The time differences, the illusions. What if the elements of harmony don't actually strip the evil from someone, but imprison them in a period of isolated time where seconds are perceived as years, some sort of forced rehabilitation program? In essence, the Matrix meets the Green Mile. But hey, that's just a theory, a pony theory. I've been Faith or Moliminous, thanks for watching. Be sure to comment down what you guys think about this. Like the video, it helps a lot. Share it out with all your other friends. Peace and limb out, guys.